Hi guys, welcome to gymnastics. I hope you've had a great week. We are getting closer to getting back in the gym. I hope within the next month we'll be back and be able to be working on our weekly classes again. And if you haven't already signed up for summer classes and summer camps, we are super excited that we'll be over the hump at that time and we'll be ready to go and have some fun this summer. Today's lesson is for our 5 and up kids. So this will be for our beginners, our intermediates, our advanced, and our teen kids, boys and girls. And our younger kids today are probably not going to get a whole lot from today's lesson because we're going to do more talking about terms and learning words than actual skills, but you're welcome to follow along if you like. And of course, as always, review those other videos that we've done before because I think it's great for them just to keep working on it, because gymnastics is a sport that is about repetition. So doing it over and over and over again, and especially my advanced kids that have been working on skills, they know that that's how you get better, is by practicing the skills. So today for balance beam, we're going to talk about different skills and different terms, and we're also going to review the elements of the routines. So that's going to help a little bit with everybody that's going to be watching today. If you're not aware, the balance beam is 16 feet long, and it is a 4x6 beam. So that means that it's 4 inches wide and 6 inches high. It's actually a little bit less than 4 inches wide, but when you look at the balance beam, you'll see that it's kind of curved, rounded. So at its widest part, it's 4 inches. So it's a little bit smaller than that on the actual part that your gymnast is doing the gymnastics on. And at our gym, we do it at 4 feet high. And it will raise up much higher than that, and some of the girls do it higher than that when they go to competitions. And also we use a small beam that is lower to the floor, our low balance beam, or some of the meets that we go to has the higher beam will actually adjust down to a lower height for our little bitty kiddos that do gymnastics on the team. But most of the time we're on the 4-foot beam, or the beam that's close to the floor, or a floor beam. Some of you even have one of those floor beams at home, which are great for practicing on. But first thing we're going to talk about is mounting or getting on the beam. So that is where you're going to push up to that front support. We talked about this with the bars. So this is that front support position. Straight arms, hands close to your thighs. Nope, not for getting on the beam. They're going to be actually close together. And the reason why is so that when you swing your leg over, you can swing your leg over easier. If your hands are wide apart, you can't get your leg around. So that's why we do our front support, hands close together, so you can swing your leg around. So swing your leg around, and then you are straddling the beam, holding the beam in the center, and then you're going to swing your legs up behind you, and you're going to either go to your knees in the beginning, so you're going to be just in a kneel position, or you're going to go to a squat position, turn sideward, squat position, or you're going to go to that push-up position that we talked about last week. So that's the 3 positions that we work on for doing the front support mount. The next mount is called a swing mount, where you're going to put one hand on the balance beam, and you're going to swing your leg over the beam, and then you're going to get to the front support position. So that's a swing mount. So that's a little bit different than the front support mount. So those are the different mounts that we have worked on. And remember, that is what we call getting on the balance beam. The next thing we're going to talk about is our balance skill. And that in our advanced level routine is an arabesque or scale that we talked about last week. So that's that arabesque position, arms by your ears and that leg out. And the scale position is the chest down and the leg back. So those are the balance skills that we work on. Other balance skills would also include a knee scale, where you're just in a kneeling position, hands together and your leg out straight. So that is a knee scale. That's a balance position. Another one that we did last week that we talked about is that V-sit. So you'd be holding the beam with your hands together behind you, and then pulling your legs up in that V in the front. So that's a V sit. Those are all just some examples of balance skills on the beam. So those would be things that you could work on practicing. Even if you didn't have a beam, you could just work on balancing and working on holding those positions, especially in the scale and in the arabesque. It's great to have a spot, a place that you're looking at to help you balance. That helps it so much with you being able to hold that position. You can also do your coupe and your passe that we talked about. So the coupe down low and the passe up high, working on balancing in those positions. Our advanced level kids, you could also even work on holding those positions when you are in releve. Releve means on toe. So you could do your coupe and your passe on toe, which is awesome to work on those skills as well. That helps so much when you start working on your turns. You get more confident with that. So the next skill we will talk about is actually the turns. So at this level, we're working a lot of quarter turns and half turns. A quarter turn is more what our beginners are doing. So that's just stepping forward and turning sideward on the beam. And then they might do that grapevine step behind there, or they might just do the open close steps sideward. So that's a quarter turn. The next one is called a lock turn or pivot turn. So you're going to lock your feet together. So the front foot, the heel is against the back foot. So your feet are locked together like you've got them stuck like glue. And then you're just going to do a pivot turn. Pivot turn. And you're still in that lock position after the turn. So that's a pivot turn or a lock turn. In your routines, some of the girls are doing pivot turns, some are doing 1 foot turns. So the 1 foot turn that we work on uses a coupe or passe position. So they're going to do it with a preparation. That means the act of getting ready to do the routine. It also gives them the momentum to be able to make the turn easily. My turns on the carpet are not super awesome, but we're going to go with our best effort here. So basically they're going to be in that prepared position, and they always know that their outside hand is trying to catch their front hand. So we're going to do it first. We're going to do it in passe. That's knee up high. And then the second time I'm going to show you in coupe. So coupe is the one where their foot is at their ankle. So each one of those, they should be stepping forward after the turn. If they step backwards, then they did not complete the turn. So that's important when they're practicing, to be sure that they're completing that turn by making it go all the way around. So that's super important for them to remember that. So that is their turns. The next thing we're going to do is their jumps or their series. So this can be a variety of different jumps, but what we've been working on is just stretch jump, stretch jump. So that's 2 jumps in sequence quickly together without a pause in between. So it's jump, jump, not jump, jump. So there can't be a long pause in between there. And they should be in lock position again. Remember, that's the front heel against the back foot, lock position, jump, jump, pointy toes, straight legs on straight jumps. As they progress, they can work on tuck jumps, knees to the chest, and they can work on doing a split jump where their legs are going to open in a split. Not a straddle, not this direction, but a split, one leg in front of the other. So that would be their jump combination or series. The next thing we're going to talk about is leaps. Leap is a dance skill, and it is used, it is going from one foot to the other foot. Your good leg, your leg you're going to tumble most of the time on, is the leg that's going to be in front. So you're going to step from your opposite leg forward onto your good leg, doing a split in the air. The most important thing that you're going to work on during doing your leap is that you have straight legs and that you are going forward on the beam. You have to travel on the beam. So some of you, when you do your leaps, you don't travel and you start here and you go like that. Okay, so you might have great straight legs, but you're not traveling and going anywhere. So therefore you wouldn't get credit for a leap because it's really just kind of like a step. You got to travel to be able to make it a leap. So that's important to work on. It doesn't have to be huge like you see in the Olympics. It can be tiny, but you have to have straight legs and you have to travel. That's super duper important to remember. The next thing we're going to talk about is the tumbling skill on the beam. And most of the kids are working on either a lever or a handstand on the beam, which is, we worked on those last week. So remember, the lever skill is leaning forward, touching the beam, standing back up. The bottom leg can bend, starting in the lunge and going forward and touching, and then coming back up. Ooh, that was pretty messy. Let's try that again. Going down and touching the floor, touching the beam, and then coming back up. So that's the lever position that we've been working on. Squeezing your body. Bottom leg can bend, does not have to be straight, but your back leg has to be straight, and you have to do that seesaw position. As your hands go down, your leg goes up. As your legs go down, your hands go up. So you have to do that straight seesaw back and forth. So that is the tumbling skill that we've been working on. A few of our girls have been working on cartwheels, which we're super excited about that, and some walkovers. So those are great skills to keep practicing on your line. Be sure that you have a safe place to practice your cartwheels especially. All of the advanced kids are ready to do that on a tape line, but you have to be sure that at your house you have a safe place to do it so that it's not going to be you're going to bump into anything. So you've got plenty of room that you're not going to hit anything. But working on that line is going to get you ready to do it in the gym, which is that's our goal, is when we get back in the gym, you're going to be ready to go with those skills. The last thing we're going to talk about is your dismount. So that is getting off of the beam, and a jump is a dismount. So a lot of you may already just be doing jumps. And remember that jumping is going both feet at the same time off of the beam. It's not 1, 2, that's stepping. So when you're jumping, you're actually going to go up and then down. Whereas when you step, you have a tendency just to go down. So you want to be sure that you're pushing up and then going down. And when you do that jump, you're still going to do that stick and finish just like what we do when we do the springboard. Exactly the same thing. Stick and finish, hold it, don't move, then you're done. Some of our kids are working on a cartwheel dismount. So most of them have been working from a kneel. So they're working with their good leg in front. I'm a lefty. So they're working with that good leg in front, cartwheeling up to a handstand, and then coming down and holding on to the beam, not letting go. Our advanced kids have a habit of sometimes letting go of the beam, and we're still holding on to the beam. The more advanced level kids are working on kicking to that handstand position from a stand. There again, good leg in front, handstand, and come down. And a few of our kids have started adding the quarter turn to that, where they're actually going up to the handstand, turning their body and dismounting beside the balance beam. So they're landing in a sideward position instead of actually facing the beam like this at the end. I hope you enjoyed our lesson today, and I hope I'll be back next week to tell you some more fun things that are going on in the gym, and maybe we'll be back really, really soon. I hope so. I miss you guys so much, and I hope you're enjoying these little lessons, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great rest of your weekend.